Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shaper Sessions. My name is Jake.
I'm Russ.
And I'm Adi.
And we have a very cool show for you tonight, as we always do. What are we doing?
We're releasing Trace, announcing Trace, and we're going to do some incredible live demos. We showed off some work that we did with Trace last week to try and get everyone excited, but today we're actually going to go through the process of using the app, and we've got 5 demos. I hope we have time to get to them all. They're all really awesome. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm super excited to be here. You know, the team's been working on this for a while now, and I know everyone's excited to get it out. So I'm excited to show people.
Yeah, Adi, for folks who don't know him, is the product lead for Trace, so he's going to be explaining the nitty-gritty while Jake and I do those demos and some of the more practical applications.
Yeah. And many of you have been here before, but for those of you that haven't, let's run through the rules.
Yeah. This is Shaper Sessions. This is the live stream that we do from Shaper HQ every other Thursday, more or less. We got a couple things going on. So we have live Q&A at the end of every show, and to participate in that Q&A, make sure you drop your questions in the chat. There's a big chat box on the side or on the bottom of your screen. We have our colleague Ted in the chat today with us. He's going to be collecting any of the questions that he can't answer via text, and he'll send them to the 3 of us, and we'll answer those all live at the end of the show. We also do a giveaway. Mm-hmm. So to enter that giveaway, we're going to pop up a poll question. About halfway through the show, we have a mid-break show with announcements. That's when that poll question is going to come up. We'll make sure we broadcast that to everybody. Answer that poll question with your name and the answer to the question, obviously, and you are going to be entered to win in that giveaway, again, at the end of the show during the Q&A. What else do we have? Make sure, just have friendly chats and comments. We're happy to have everybody here.
Exactly. We're here for you to answer those questions, so make sure you get them in. And to show you some really cool stuff.
Yeah, sweet. Let's get started because we have a lot of really new, awesome things to show you. As people kind of roll into the show, we wanted to just welcome everyone with a little hello just to see how the Trace app works. So without further ado, let's draw and capture. Yeah.
All right. Do a little hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
All right. Let's see how good my handwriting is live, huh? Let's do a little hello. All right, Jake.
Okay. Next step, we take the trace frame, place it over the top of the hello, and there's the live feed from our phone,
From the Trace app.
capture, and voila. Now we're ready to go.
So what the heck just happened there?
A lot in the background.
The catchphrase today is going to be sketch to vector in seconds.
Yes.
So we just drew this out. We know that folks have a lot of different ways of making digital files to use, not just with Origin, but any other digital fabrication tool and digital software. And making those digital files can be kind of a hurdle, especially to make organic, hand-drawn files can be really, really challenging.
Exactly.
So Trace is your way to go from hand-drawn sketch to vector in seconds. And that's what we're going to be doing all day today.
Yep. In addition to that, we're going to be tracing physical objects. So if you have a real-world object that you're trying to vectorize, this is also a reason why we created Trace.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah. I guess just maybe a quick summary on that. I think the big thing here that we wanted to do is like really treat this as a tool, like thinking about this as a tool. This is a tool you buy, and basically trace anything you can draw. And some quick sort of things that really make it stand apart is that we retain scale and it's super accurate. And so regardless of the phone camera you're using, it's accurate to what you draw. And then also we have 2 different types of vectorizing, if you will, which we'll get into as we do the demos. So.
Yeah, sweet. So those 2 types of vectorizing absolutely are outline and centerline. Centerline is the thing that's pretty new that we're doing, that's kind of on the bleeding edge of technology, if you will. So that leads us right into our first demo. We've got this breadboard set up on Workstation over here. We want to customize it with an engraving. And Jake, I think you're going to do your initials today. Is that right?
I'm going to do my initials and then use a center line. Gotta shake out the shakes.
Yeah, this is our first time doing all this stuff live. Beautiful.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
I think the key thing to call out there especially is, could Jake have done that on a computer? Maybe. Probably has to learn some
Maybe.
complicated piece of software.
Maybe, right.
But
Or
you'll
like drop thousands of dollars, right?
Yep. You'll see now how quick it is to go from sort of sketching that.
Did you switch over to the NDI fast enough?
Yeah, he got it. He got it. I
Beautiful.
saw
Okay,
it.
stay there. I'm going to hop over to centerline. And there it is. That is the very center of my pen mark, which gives me a single line path.
Which is awesome for engraving with Origin.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and save that to my files.
Yeah. So all the files that you make with Shaper Trace can be saved to My Files, which is accessible from your Shaper account. And because it's on your Shaper account, if you own an Origin, it's right on your Origin right away. Nothing else needed.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Yeah, let's hop over to that Origin cam. I think we're going to set up with just a quick new scan, right?
Yeah. And clear some of this stuff out. All right. First and foremost, new scan.
Maybe there's some new people here that maybe don't know about Origin, so maybe do a little.
Yeah. For anyone who's new to Sessions and new to Origin, if you're here from the Trace Kickstarter or from our Instagram account, this is Shaper Origin. It's a handheld CNC machine for woodworking and other crafts as well. The gist of it is Jake's taking a big composite image of his workspace. He's going to drop this SVG digital design into that workspace, and then Shaper Origin basically allows you to cut that like a plunge router with autocorrect. So it's going to be compensating in real time the entire time Jake is engraving this JS, so that rather than a freehand router where it's going to be all squiggly and off the mark, that JS is going to be exactly as drawn.
Yeah.
What's fun too is I'm just scaling it directly on tool to kind of fit my breadboard. I'm going to sneak it up into this corner.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the thing to call out there, we said it's sketch to vector in seconds. The file format, again, we get a little nerdy here, is called an SVG. That stands for Scalable Vector Graphic, which literally means you can scale it to any size, small or large, and it won't lose any resolution. So
Yeah.
You can keep your scale exactly the same as you draw it, but you can also draw it the size that Jake drew it and scale it up to 6 feet, and it won't lose the resolution.
That would be fun. All right, we're putting your initials in the floor on the next show.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm set and ready to go ahead and cut this.
All right, let's hop off the stage here. It gets a little bit loud. It should be a quick one. And as you see Jake follow the center line of that cut, you can see Origin spindle at the bottom of the screen just doing a little bit of compensation autocorrection in real time. And Jake's a pro, so this is probably going to be quick. Adi, you mentioned scalable vector graphics. We use those for Origin. I think it's also worth noting we're going to do some demos with other tools on this show for the first time. We're going to bring in some non-Origin power tools and fabrication tools. And we're going to see how you can use SVGs from Trace with not just Origin, but we also have a laser cutter later today and a Cricut vinyl cutter.
Yeah, absolutely. If you own any other digital fabrication tool, you'll know that SVG is a very common file format and is used basically by every fabrication tool, including CNCs. So,
Yeah.
We showed a quick Origin demo, but really you can use any fabrication tool.
So there we go. I can put it on the overhead as well.
Yeah, let's put that on the overhead and do back-to-back next to the original.
Again, I scaled it slightly on the tool itself, but that's a custom cutting board.
And you cut that with an engraving bit, right, Jay?
I did cut that with an engraving bit, deep enough so that everyone could see it too.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. That's Trace in a nutshell. We're just going to keep rolling basically through the demos today. We've got a lot for you. So
Awesome.
next up, that was centerline engraving. Next up, I want to make a custom pocket in foam for a tool chest.
Sweet.
Keep my chisels.
I know this is a very popular thing that people love doing, organizing their tools.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not the most organized, but I think you'll see how quick this workflow is, and I think it definitely might motivate people to be much more organized.
It is very satisfying. Okay, let's flip to a new page. So I'm going to be using a different pen. I'm going to use this guy. Is this okay?
Yeah. Do it.
All right.
We've
You wanna
become
show-
pen aficionados.
You want to show
here.
people that pen? It's an interesting one.
This is from Pika. It's a deep hole marker, and basically, origin cam. What it gives me is a really steep and thin profile, so I can actually like glide alongside of this chisel, and hopefully, my handshakes won't.
Yeah, no
mess
pressure,
up.
buddy. So in the last demo, we talked about centerline versus outline. The thing that we're highlighting in this demo is kind of the scale, accuracy, and some of the, not to get too nerdy, but the distortion correction that Trace does for you automatically in the app.
Well, I'm happy to get a little bit nerdy, so maybe as Jake's doing this little trace, we could talk about it. So yeah, so the way that Shaper Trace works is it has these magical fiducials, basically the dots you see around, and that's actually optimized to work with different mobile phone and tablet cameras. And when you take a photo, we actually do a little bit of we solve for lens distortion in different cameras. And so it's not just sort of like correcting for parallax. It's actually creating a model of the lens on the fly and fixing the scale. And that's how we're actually able to get super accurate scale.
That's some big words, and I think the gist of that is to say that you can use any phone or mobile device camera, and it doesn't matter, and you can take your photo from basically any angle as well, and it doesn't matter. So you may have done similar workflows to this in the past, where you try to get as vertical as possible above the tracing or the drawing that you've taken on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. One of the unique things about Trace is that it works at any angle. It works with any phone and any camera, and it automatically compensates for any of those errors that get introduced into the system.
Yeah, maybe as Jake takes a couple of captures, you can show how sort of doesn't matter what angle you're taking those from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jake's doing a lot of setup here.
Yep.
It's just getting our foam set up.
We have this really cool double color foam, so we'll cut through that top layer and reveal the bright red underneath. If you hop up to the overhead for me, just want to show that we have that nice clean trace. Always cover up your chisels. And
Yeah, I'm going to get this nice and high in the frame here so that we can see. Let's get the overhead cam so we can see the angle that Jake is shooting from. You can see how far behind the trace frame he is. This is a perfect overhead cam, so he's at a nice angle here.
boom. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Did we catch that? And again, I can hop back and forth between the outline and the center line. Sure, let's go ahead and retake that. Bingo. There we go.
Sweet.
Outline or center line?
What do we want to use for this particular application?
You can use either, right? Because obviously you're just trying to cut a pocket. But in general, for stuff like shadow foams, a little pro tip. I guess it's early to be doing pro tips, but we like to do the outline trace, and then you're sort of actually cutting the inside of that drawn line. So sort of even starting to give you an idea of how accurate this is you can actually see the difference if like cutting outside the line versus cutting inside the line. So
or cutting halfway between the outside and the inside of the line.
Exactly.
Right? It's absolutely crazy.
I'm going to save this for you, Jake.
Please do.
Save to Shaper files. I'll call it Chisel. Maybe Chisel 3.
Because we've done this one.
We've done this a couple of times.
All right, you should see that on your...
Thank you. Just clearing up my workspace. All right. Back into my files. And there it goes. Chisel's already there. Thank you, Goose. Bingo. I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees and place smack dab in the middle.
All right.
All right, y'all Z-touched?
I am Z-touched. I'm going to change this to... So you gave me the outline, which gives me 2 lines.
Yep.
In this case, you think it's best to use the inside line?
The inside line, yep.
Absolutely.
And then depending on the kind of fit you want, maybe you offset it, right?
And looks like we want to go maybe about an inch deep on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably an inch,
Something
yeah.
like that, for the handle's sake. We could make it more complex and do multiple depths, but that's for a future pro tips show.
I'm also going to just go for it.
Yeah, foam.
It's foam.
Let her rip.
We got a
You're just
really
doing an
awesome...
inch?
Yeah, we're just going to go down
hell
an
yeah.
inch. We're using the O-flute cutter that's 1.5 inches long that you can find on our store. Specifically made for foam. And it is awesome. Let's pocket that first.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. All right, we're going to hop off again. Now, Jake's workflow here with Origin is going to be to pocket out most of the shape of that chisel first, and inside the center of that pocket, the router works more like a standard plunge router. It just locks right to the center of that XY correction range. And when Jake reaches the boundary of that pocket, that's when the auto correction kicks in and prevents him from going past the boundary of that pocket. After cutting the pocket, Jake is going to switch to an inside cut and then go in and clean up that last little remaining edge. The pocket doesn't, by design, go all the way to the edge of your cut because we think of it basically as a roughing pass. You want to take a roughing pass and then have just a little bit of material left to cut smoothly in a nice, easy finish pass. Alright, looks like he's switching the inside pass here. And now that auto correction is going to be on 100% of the time as Jake follows the line around this chisel. If Jake were to deviate from that line by too much and let the dot escape that white circle, then Origin would automatically retract, saving Jake's work. But foam's pretty easy to cut, and so we don't usually have any problems with it. Pretty consistent material.
Beautiful.
All right, how are we looking, buddy?
Stunning.
I love that red foam.
I
The
love
red
that,
foam's
yeah.
new,
The red-
and it's
that's
pretty
deep.
pro.
Oh, that cut is so clean.
I just want to make sure I don't want to block this.
Ha!
And you can see how accurate that is.
Just perfect.
Almost too snug, huh?
Almost too snug. I didn't give myself a finger hole, too.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So if you were to modify that, you could draw a little circle, add
Right
a
on
little
tool.
finger hole.
Right on tool.
You could draw that on tool, or you
Yeah.
could draw that on trace. And if you wanted to loosen that a little bit, you could always bump up your offsets as well. We say fits depend on not just your starting file, but on the material that you're working with and the router bit that you're working with as well. So, but I would say that's a really freaking good fit. That's
really good.
That's a line on line fit
Yeah.
on that chisel. So,
Yeah. Did you get a close up of
pretty
that?
happy with that.
Did. Okay.
All right, sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
All
cool.
right.
So we've done a center line, we've done an outline, we've done some pretty high accuracy stuff. We've been talking a little bit about how SVGs are portable to a lot of different digital fabrication tools. This is a first for us on sessions. Today we brought out the laser cutter.
Oh, yeah.
So we have an X-Tool M1 laser cutter and engraver over here. The thing about laser cutters is that they're pretty boring to watch. They take kind of a long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a sign that we want to engrave on the laser cutter. We're going to start the laser cutter going, and then we'll jump into those mid-show announcements. What do you guys think?
Perfect.
Sounds great.
I think we could use a filming live sign,
Yeah.
filming in session, filming live. Because
Yeah,
we
I
have
agree.
paper ones, and we always seem to lose them. So I want to upgrade to something
It's true.
plywood.
People don't take the paper ones too seriously, do they?
You think
I
it's
don't
right
know.
in front
How
of
do
their
you
face and they just walk past.
I've definitely walked past one of those.
Okay, so we need a more professional sessions or filming live sign.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get to a completely fresh sheet over here.
We're going to do a couple of different line weights here, right?
Yeah, let's do a couple different line weights, maybe add a little flourish on the bottom.
There you go.
We got some
Thank you,
markers over here.
Got a big old chisel tip. Let's do...
Has that real squeaky sound going for it today.
This is a real Bob Ross show.
We're just gonna
We're
watch.
just doing arts and crafts.
sounds
We're just doing arts and crafts today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just a
Filming.
happy little M. And we need a live. We're going to use a different line weight for that. Line frame.
Yeah,
There we
you're
go.
good. You're looking good.
L I E E. And just to give it a little hand flourish, do something like
Woo! Yeah, there we go. Nice.
That was a good move. I like that.
Sweet. Let's scan that in. And after we scan this one in, I think this would be a good opportunity to talk about all the different ways that you can move files around after tracing them.
bingo. And there we go.
I always
Okay.
love that little animation in the beginning,
It is
Yeah.
so satisfying.
isn't it? Yeah.
Sweet. So we are going to just save this to my files because it's going to sync directly over to my files pulled up on the computer over here. But let's talk through some of those options when we get to that screen.
Yeah, let's do that. So, I hit the check mark, and that's basically now going to show me the options I have. So
Yeah, let's pull that up.
the first
Goose,
one is
on the NDI here.
Yep,
There we
sorry.
go.
Okay, well, let's go through that again. So I hit the check mark, and that basically pulls up all the options I have.
Don't mind that, just a little air compressor.
Just
action.
a little air compressor. So I can save the SVG, and by hitting Save SVG, I can actually just bring up the share sheet on an iOS device, and I think similar on an
Mhm.
Android device,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
And so I can just airdrop this. I can like literally text this SVG to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
which is super convenient. Or I can save to Shaper My Files, which I'm going to do now.
Mm-hmm.
And Russ is actually logged. I'm definitely spelling this wrong. Filming, live,
Nice.
sign, and then save. And then as soon as I do that, this is saved to the Shaper account, which Russ is logged into.
Yeah, let's pop over there real quick. Let's pop over to my computer. Little laptop action.
Just want everyone to like
There
really
we
sit
go.
in that.
And so I'm
um,
going to refresh the page here, and here we go. Filming live sign.svg.
There it
Perfect.
is. Yep.
And
So it's on
while
our
we're
sheet.
talking about the rest of the options, I'm going to download that and start getting that set
Okay,
up.
sweet. Goose, if we go back to the... Yeah, there we go. And so the other option we have is Edit in Shaper Studio. Shaper Studio is the 2D design tool that we've made for craftspeople. And again, the focus there is to make a design tool that's easy to use. Again, Shaper Studio, you don't need to use Shaper Studio at all to use Trace. It's a completely separate product. You can use your SVGs and download them wherever you like. But given that Shaper Studio is in the ecosystem and Trace is in the ecosystem, we made it incredibly easy to transport any SVG you make from Trace right in Shaper Studio, and then you can use that with all of the tools we have available in Shaper Studio. We're not going to do a demo today, but I'm sure we have some sessions
gonna
planned for
happen.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Is that
So-
it?
Yeah, and then the last option we have is a share to social. Not quite ready to show that just yet, but there'll be some interesting things happening there.
We're still in development.
Still
That
in
is an
dev-
important note. We are still in development on this. Okay, so let's pop over here. I've got the Xtool software powered up on the laptop. Okay, all I'm going to do is import that image. That's filming live sign.svg. Going to open that. Let's grab this and rotate it 90 degrees. That's nice. It snaps right there. I'm going to drag this to the center top. And now you can't see what it's going to be cutting on because I don't have a piece of plywood loaded up yet, but let's get that taken care of. So we'll just pop this open. Set our sign right inside. And the cool thing about this laser is that it has a camera. If we pop back to the laptop, we can hit refresh right up here. That camera view updates, and we can see how this sign fits
Jake, you
on.
nailed the scale on
Yeah,
that.
I am gonna shrink it just a little bit. I'm gonna shrink it just a little bit and pop it more or less in the middle. Okay, great. We're gonna engrave this whole thing, so change that to an infill, like a nice high power, nice high speed, because we're trying to crank through this. And we do want good detail on this though, so we'll do 200 lines per centimeter, bidirectional, means it's gonna cut both directions. We'll start it. Okay, preview, start, ready. Okay, now, main camera. All we have to do is hit this button right here. Off we go. Okay, we're gonna come back to this. Yeah, I gotta turn the fan on. I know, it's gonna be a little bit loud. We're gonna come back to this in like 15 minutes or so, and hopefully it'll be done. Let me hit the fan here while we're going.
Cool.
Not too loud, I hope. I think it'll be okay.
Just a constant hum in the background.
A little bit of background noise. Okay, we're all right.
I'm still blown away by just like how fast it goes from piece of paper to origin or piece of paper to that. It's-
Yeah.
It has made this whole process even that much more quick.
Yeah, 5 demos in a show is like 5 times more than we've
I'm
ever
not
done.
even sweating right now.
I
It's
think.
just like
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's something we maybe didn't touch on in the beginning, right? Like we were talking about how it's different from other processes. Is this possible? Maybe if you did a lot of things and you wouldn't, really even get close to the quality or the accuracy with this. Really, the focus of the design team and the development team has been, how do we make this feel like it's a tool where you can draw a thing, cut the thing. Like
Yeah.
that's the focus, not futzing around with digital, tools, not learning digital tools. Sort of similar to sort of the philosophy behind developing Shaper Studio.
Yeah, awesome. While this is thinking, let's do our little mid-show break. We got some announcements. We got always good things going on at Shaper HQ. First off, let's get that giveaway poll question going. And that poll question is just going to be, what are you going to trace? We're curious to hear what people are going to use this for. We're giving you a bunch of examples, but we're always super curious to hear what awesome ideas our audience comes up with. So answer that poll question. You'll be entered to win that giveaway. We haven't chosen what we'll give away yet, but let's make an audible here. I think the O flute that you use to cut the foam, I think that's awesome.
1.5-inch long O flute.
And let's give away an 1/8-inch collet, because although we aren't doing a marquetry demo today, I think that trace is going to be really good for organic, hand-drawn inlay and marquetry.
Absolutely. It's been a blast to use it on it thus far.
Okay, sweet.
You
So
should
we're going to
see.
give away that O flute, and we're going to give away that 1/8-inch collet. And to enter that, answer the poll question. Goose, is the poll question up? He
Yes.
says yes. Okay, so the poll question should be up. We can't see everybody's screen, so got a little confirmation from Goose upstairs. While that's going, while everybody's entering that, we do have our another big announcement. Our summer promo is still going. Our summer promo is active from now until the 28th.
Yes.
And
day.
What is all involved
So many
in
things.
that promo, Jake? Because it's a lot.
It is seriously an awesome time to buy. So tell your friends, tell your family. You're going to get...
This is an origin-oriented promo,
Yes, of
by the
course.
way. We're going to talk about Trace and how to buy it on Kickstarter
With
later.
the purchase of Origin or the complete system, Origin plus tray or Origin plus plate and workstation, you're going to get a 1/4-inch by 3/4 ball nose bit, in addition to the 3 bits that come with Origin. You're going to get the 1/4-inch by 1/8-inch O flute, which is perfect for those soft metals, non-ferrous metals, brass, copper, aluminum.
Plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, plastics.
You're going to get a mini cis.
Customizable foam mini sustainer,
Oh.
Yeah.
which is great. And speaking of customizing, just did this chisel today. Draw your own mini cis when
Yeah.
Trace is delivered. Yeah, incredible.
What else? We're going to get
2-part training.
2-part training.
And not just with Jake anymore. We're tag team in this one. It was awesome when it was with Jake, but I'll say it's going to be even better now that Jake and I are doing
is.
these trainings together.
Yeah, that is 2 days, 2 hour-long sessions with us to get you from opening the box to being sufficient with Origin, to being a pro with Origin.
All right, roll of double-sided tape, because we're not done yet. Roll of double-sided tape. You're going to get 4 free premium project plans, and those premium projects, along with the training classes, are really going to help you get going because they're at different skill levels, and they are start to finish, word for word, exactly how to build these projects. So they're kind of foolproof. They really are going to get you going and up to speed on some different skills.
Yeah.
And designed by a bunch of talented designers.
Yeah,
very true.
that too. And then I think you mentioned the system discount.
System discount. So if you purchase Origin plus Trace, you get... I'm sorry.
You're really just in Traceland today.
Origin plus Plate,
Yeah.
which is this lovely thing behind me. You get $100 off. If you purchase Origin plus Workstation, you get $100 off. If you purchase all 3, which is the complete system, you're going to get $150 off.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Yeah, feels right.
Wow. Okay, well, that was a lot of stuff. I know I don't remember. I'm sure if you guys go to shapertools.com, all the details are right there.
That's what I would do.
It's the easiest thing to do. Get exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of going places to get the details, let's get the details on how to back Trace on Kickstarter. And since I want to show this on the laptop, let's pull down that poll question also. Whenever we're ready, go ahead and pull up that Kickstarter, Goose. While the laser's cranking, I can almost feel the warmth radiating off of it. Here we go. Okay, Kickstarter. Shaper Trace, go from sketch to vector in seconds. We're launching Trace on Kickstarter. To back this project, go to kickstarter.com. We're actually on the front page right now.
Yeah, we are.
But you
It's
could
pretty
also
cool.
go to shapertools.com/trace and find Kickstarter that way.
I'm sure somebody will drop the link in the chat.
Someone will drop the link in the chat. Awesome. You could watch our videos on the Kickstarter page.
Please watch our videos. We worked really hard on them.
We worked really hard on them.
It was very hard for me to do the voiceover, but
You nailed it.
Nailed it. The important button, though, is the back this project right here. And we have a couple of different options. Here we go. You can make a pledge without a reward. Be very nice. Buy us a beer or something. But really, we want you to get Trace, right? So Trace Kit Early Bird, 20% discount. Looks like 184 left out of 2,900. So definitely get on that. That includes the Trace frame, access to the Trace app, and the artist pen that we've been using for a couple of demos.
And that's 20% off of the MSRP or the retail price when it goes when it's available.
When that fills up, we'll go to actual MSRP. But the real deal is if you scroll even farther down, the Trace 2-pack is $130.
Yeah,
so at MSRP, that's like one Trace at retail and another Trace kit for $30.
$30, yeah.
Which is incredible as a gift to give to the creative person.
I mean, this will be perfect in time. Expected deliveries in the fall, and this will be perfect timing for a Christmas gift to anybody that's creative, or maybe buy them a fabrication tool with it too. Yeah.
So peruse this at your leisure. We're talking about almost everything that's on this page today, so we don't need to go for it word to word. Kickstarter, we got the summer promo. Let's do our shop tour. We always do a shop tour. So this is a fun one.
Yeah.
We're talking about a really exciting product announcement today. And we thought, we've been doing all these shop tours, but we haven't done our own shop tour. So since we're talking about ourselves,
I like it.
We thought it would
Let's
be
just
fun.
keep talking about
Let's just keep talking about ourselves. I think folks are probably curious what our shop looks like. So we recorded a little tour this afternoon. As always, if you want to send us a shop tour, we love to see them. We love to play them on the show. And if we play your shop tour on the show, we'll send you something nice. It's been router bits, it's been collets, it's been swag packs, it's been kind of whatever you want within reason. Barbells are nice. We love landscape oriented. We love a little narration. We love 2 to 4 minutes or so. Let's play our video. I think I don't have sound, Goose.
Yeah, I don't have sound.
Goose says 1 second on the sound. He says, "Oh, I got you." Here we go.
So let's give you.
Okay, trying again.
Welcome everyone to the Shaper HQ shop.
All right. Thanks, Goose.
This is a very active shop for everything from work-related to personal projects. So let's give you a little walkthrough. Here we have what we call the basket. This is where all of our origins live. At any point you can come up here and grab one, use it. Hopefully you put it away afterwards. And just like any active shop, it is busy. We have what we call the bench room, bench area. We have active projects right here. Things are drying. This is the workstation rack that we made with the Kaivo bender setup, and it's a really neat, just slide it in, slide it out. Wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to put stuff away. Let's head over here. This is the EDU cart that we built with a kind of a Polk-inspired top. Polk benches that have been in the Shaper shop since I started, and they've gotten a lot of really great use. They kind of tell a story with every accidental cut and stuff in the top of them. Of course, the session studio, 2 main front cameras, and then we have all of our origin cams and side cameras, cleat walls throughout. Everything is modular. That's the whole point. For a long time we were doing cleat of the week, which is a new project every week to hang some tool on the wall. But yeah, this is kind of constantly changing depending on what our needs are. Let's see what else. Full lighting rig is all hanging from the ceiling, so trying to limit the amount of cords on the ground. Over into the tool room, we have joiner planer, our sanding corner, and of course, active projects. That was probably the #1 thing that we struggle with here is everybody's got something going on. Where do you put it all? So Goose has got like 1 week left to work on this bed frame before he loses his cart. But we got the big sanders here in the corner, Capex, of course, wood storage, full sheets, and we try to break sheets down so people are it's easier for someone to grab some plywood and use it. We have everything from acrylic to colored MDF to Delrin, all kinds of funky stuff that we make projects out of or just use for test gutting. Mobile drill press, more project storage. These are Hammer A341A and B, the joiner and planer, 16-inch wide. Really love this setup. It comes in a combo setup as well, but we decided to get 2 separate ones. Festool router table. This beautiful thing. This is our Ramia workbench and this really neat workstation setup that Russ came up with. And it just pops in using the bench dogs. What do we got? We got my desk. We have a big old saw stop with the optional sliding table for doing big crosscuts. Overhead dust arm. Dust collection was a big thing in here. We wanted everything to be automatic, so the second you turn a tool on, gate opens automatically and air turns on automatically, and you're good to go. Behind Russ here we have our metalworking station. Got a big jet lathe, a Dual bandsaw for cutting things in half, and some grinders. No welder yet, but who knows. Flammables cabinet, keep all our finish in there. We try to keep a wide range of finish because people come in with all kinds of different stuff that they want to work on. And of course, our Festool wall. Built these cabinets early on and we just slowly added to it, and yeah, there you go. That's our shop. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the show.
Heck
Perfect.
yeah.
Thanks, Goose. We love that. All right, back to the show. So we've talked about some foam, we've talked about some engraving, we've talked about some laser. This is all pretty free foam stuff. The chisel was a really nice fit, but a big question that we get very often is, can you use trace to install hardware? So we thought we'd give it a whirl and install this countertop connector. This is one half of like a zip bolt style countertop connector. And I love this. This jumped out at me in the drawer because of the annotations on the back. Jake, could you show this on the Origin cam real quick?
Yeah.
This is the length that someone tried to go to like remodel this hardware.
It's just
to
all over
draw
the
it
place.
themselves. It's like a bunch of dimensions.
Yeah.
How do you know how long this thing is? Where does it go? So what we're gonna do is trace it and see what happens. Now, of course, the hardware catalog is a great source for verified by Shaper hardware objects. We've got all of our favorite stuff in there, and we're adding to it all the time. But it's not perfect. It's not complete. We love your feedback on what you would like us to add to it. But in the meantime, trace your hardware. You know.
Yeah, I mean, especially you're doing one of these countertop ones. I think you see hardware all the time that's maybe cast or hand forged, and those are not dimensionally stable. So that even if a manufacturer provided you a drawing, you may not actually get repeatable results. So
even just hand ground corners, if like a plate has rounded corners, but somebody just like took a file to that, every corner is going to be a little bit different. So
yeah, exactly.
designing a file for that is difficult.
That's a tough one. Or breaking out. Not everyone has a set of corner radius gauges to find out what the radius of a corner even is in the first place. How do you know, even if they are even?
Yeah, I love that you brought that up, because I will say something else nerdy.
Yeah.
But one of the ways I like talking about trace is, like, again, it's a tool, but when you consider something like hardware, I actually like to think of it almost like an organic shape measurement tool. You're not necessarily getting specific dimensions, but you are essentially replicating the shape to scale. So it's like a measurement tool. Yeah.
Right. Sweet. Okay. I'll have you guys scan this in because you're over by the camera.
All right. You got it, Jake. Just get it normal to the hardware so you get it straight.
Yeah, that is a good point. For this one, I want to be straight on. Retake. And voila. I want to use the outline.
Yeah. So again, pro tip on this one is you want to do an outline and then take the inside. So because you can see here on the screen, there's actually 2 lines, and that represents the thickness of the way it was drawn. And because we do care about the accuracy, we're going to be a little picky here and pick this inside.
One note for this piece, though, I will add, is that it is tapered, and I drew very close to the shape, so we might need to use a little bit of an offset.
That's
on
okay.
this one.
I'd rather start out too tight,
Right,
and adjust with my negative offset from there.
Okay.
Let's save it. Keep forgetting to save it. What is this thing called?
Just call it connector.
All right, let's call it connector.
On my end, I went ahead and made a grid on the edge of this piece of ash. I can now go into design, import. There it is. I'm going to grab that bottom middle anchor point and place right there on the bottom edge, right?
Yep, sounds good. And we will probably need to go in with a chisel after the fact and get out those round corners,
just
since
the
it's
front
right
end.
on the edge.
Yeah.
What we could have done maybe is draw a little bit extra on this.
Yeah, maybe offset it this way a little bit.
Yeah, we could do that too. Make another copy of it that's offset.
Here's a little pro tip too. I am making sure that I select that inside line and turning it to an inside cut. Then I come over here to that outside line and just change it to a guide.
Beautiful.
Just to get rid of it.
Yep.
Or to make it not cuttable. I actually want to pocket this first. Okay.
And this is going 21 millimeters deep eventually. I know that because someone put a nice note on the back of it.
Wonderful. 21 divided by 3. Whoops. 21 millimeters divided by...
I'm going to use AutoPass, Jake.
I'm going to start off with a pocket.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do this in a couple passes.
Sweet. All right, off we go. We'll get you the hammer to install this. I think we're going to need the hammer for this one, just because these tapered connectors are typically press fit, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. We're hoping for a good line-on-line fit with this one.
You could do a little offset too.
Yeah, a little offset. Again, Jake is pocketing first, and in pocketing mode, Origin works like a basic plunge router that doesn't allow you to go past the extents of that pocket. He's going to take 3 pocketing passes with this 1/4-inch router bit, about 7 millimeters at a time. And then once he gets to the bottom, just like with the foam, he's going to clean up that little bit with an inside cut. Get it nice and clean. Since this cut goes right to the edge of the piece of wood, we are probably going to have to either knock out that last little bit with chisel or come back in with come back in with an offset to clean that up as well with the router. We've got this demo, and then one last demo that we have for you today is just making a simple sticker with the Cricut vinyl cutter. Super fun. We love taking kids' drawings for this one, so if you've got kids, it could be a really fun activity. Just draw some stuff and make a sticker out of it. But you can use it for more serious applications as well. We love using vinyl for masking, especially for finishing or painting, sign making, work like that. Is that it already, Jake?
That's it.
Wow. Okay.
That's fast.
Yeah, let's get in here, Eddie.
Well, one more quick one. Let me just get past this area right down here.
Okay.
Just a quick plunge.
Gotcha. Could you mute Audie as well, maybe? Just for the router's sake. Yeah, there we go. It's okay. It's okay.
There we go. Actually, don't even need to worry about that, I think.
Yeah? You think so?
So that's cut to 0.
Okay, let's check the fit.
Ooh, that's tight.
What do you think? Pretty tight?
That is...
I made a tight tracing on this one. So one thing to note on this is that the output of the app is definitely dependent on how you trace. I traced this one tight.
If I was working in a really soft wood, I could hammer that in.
Yeah.
But since we're in ash, I'm going to give that something like a
0.01 even?
negative 0.01 feels right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Quick
here we go.
pass.
We're going to step off to the side here. Just for noise's sake. Beautiful thing about Origin, and most other digital fabrication tools do this as well, is that you can fine-tune that, what we call offset, to fine-tune your fit as you go. We'll say it's exceptionally simple and easy on Origin, but there is a way to do it somehow on most tools.
Just knock out those little bits.
Jake's just knocking out the little bits that the round cutter did cut, so the corners are just rounded, which is easy to knock out with the chisel. Here's a hammer too, Jake, if you need it. Oh, look at that.
Pretty good? Getting in there?
You don't want to get this back out, right?
No,
Nope.
it's fine.
It's in there. I mean, this, and I guess we didn't show this one, but this this connector actually has little ribs on it, which
Right.
are meant to grab to the wood. So it is meant to be actually cut to interference.
super tight.
And cut.
But that's a good fit. I would call that a really good fit.
That is fantastic. You want to check that out?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's incredible. That was probably the best camera view to show that on, is that,
yeah.
that bench cam. Yeah, but I'm going to leave that on the overhead cam there for a second. You can see that
Love a
compared
hammer
to the
fit.
drawing. Yeah, pretty good.
It's pretty sweet.
Great for tracing hole patterns as well. We have an Instagram reel coming out that Jake and I filmed of making a bracket for my 3D printer, and we traced the hole patterns. With Trace, we got both an outline and the hole patterns, and I went back to the studio and it bolted right on. It was incredible.
That's cool.
It's a
You
lot of
used
fun.
an outside service for that too.
Yeah, I used OSH-cut.
Yeah.
OSH cut.
Yeah, that's something we haven't really touched on. But because you get an SVG file, you can actually send it off to you know, a service that might be cutting metal, maybe a water jet service, or
The only
plasma
thing I
cutting
feel
service.
like we haven't tried in-house yet is an embroidery machine.
Ooh.
And I want an excuse to get one. So if you would love to see us use an embroidery machine, respond in the comments with yes, get an embroidery machine.
Hey, you know what would be good
so the Russ
giveaways?
has something to play with.
A good giveaway is a embroidered hat that you make custom every week. That'd be pretty
That
cool.
would be
pretty
sweet. I would
awesome.
make people custom embroidered hats.
That would be pretty
I would
awesome.
love that.
Just want a chain stitched shaper work jumpsuit.
Yeah. So our laser cutter is still running, so let's hop over to the Cricut demo, and by the time the Cricut's done, I think this laser cutter will be ready to unload.
Sweet.
Okay? We already have this drawing actually done, so let's flip to that page. We will just scan it, and off to the races. I will have to find it though. This is full of activities.
Oh,
Here
there
we
we
go.
go.
Here we go.
So whose
This is
kid
kinda
drew this?
fun.
Who-
No,
yeah.
I drew this. I drew this. I am not the artist of the bunch.
You know,
But
it's,
there's no
it's
shame
the-
whatsoever.
The kid in you.
It is
Your
the kid in me.
Or the kid in you.
It is the kid in me. This is my representation of a camel, if you couldn't tell.
Beautiful.
That looks like a pretty good camel.
That looks like a pretty good camel.
And is there
Okay.
anything else we wanted to do to that?
There is something that we want to do to this, and we haven't talked about this much, the Modify tab. So we've got a couple of options here. I'm going to show that again. We hit Modify. First is Smoothness. I think Smoothness is not going to do much for us on this camel, but Smoothness would smooth out the lines that you draw. Again, in Modify, you can go from outline to centerline, but what we're going to do here is select different shapes and disregard certain shapes to send to myself, to send to this Cricut. So I want a nice sticker. I want a nice sticker, so I'm going to get rid of that middle shape, and I just want one little bit of the eyeball. There we go. Easy to select. I'm going to hit Done, Save to My Files, and I'm going to call this Camel 2 because I practiced earlier.
Maybe camel 5.
No, it's Camel 2. Camel 2.
all right.
How many camels do you have in your account, Jake?
No, it's
That's a
camel
great
2,
question,
camel 2.
actually.
Yeah, we're up to 2 now.
Lost
So
track.
I'm going to hit Save. I'm going to hit Save on here. Done. Okay. Now, let's hop over to the... Hold on, actually. Just a sec before we hop over to the laptop. Okay, here we are in My Files. So if we hop over to the laptop now, I can refresh. Camel 2, we've got Connector that Jake did also, and I can go ahead and download Camel 2. You can see it pops up right here.
I could have also downloaded it right on your phone and sent it over, but because you were logged in, that was easy to do.
It's easy for me to log in over here, yeah. So I'm going to hop over to the Cricut design space, and this is going to take just a second. I have to set up the Cricut. We've got so many tools over here. I got to pull this one over.
All right. Let's...
All right, we got the Cricut. And let's point this thing forward if we can, because what I want to show is, hold on. Spent a lot of time on this,
All
man.
right.
They spent a lot of time on this. Here, check this. Pretty slick.
Kick.
All right.
It's easy to impress, right?
All right, Jake, you are going to have to help me out with this thing, I think. First,
Yes.
Hold
right.
on.
Okay.
And then plug this guy in.
plug
Plug
this
it in.
guy into my laptop. It's already up.
Great.
I am not a Cricut expert.
Yeah.
3 of us, I'm confident that we can figure it out.
To you. So it comes with some... And all we have here is some vinyl, some green vinyl. In all types of vinyl, you even get iron-on vinyls. I made
Tight.
one recently.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe we
Okay.
should do that.
Only after you get
Only
out, yeah.
after... Oh, okay, here we go. So what do I do next?
So first hit upload.
Hit upload. And it is different, actually. So we'll do Camel 2. Okay, I love that. We'll upload that. And we're going to use Camel 2 and add that to Canvas.
Yep, there you go.
Now we've got 2 shapes here. Operation. So we've got 2 parts of the camel. We can see its eyeball now. Beautiful. And what do I do? Make it?
Yep, make it.
Make it. It's on a mat. The mat size is 12 by 24. There it is. We got vinyl. We've got
Yep, you're good to go.
fine point. Yep, okay. Load.
Now we're gonna hit the load button.
Yep. It's going to do its thing. Let's go back to this front cam and watch this thing work. And just press go. There we go. This is incredible to me. I'm going to grab scissors while this is working.
I got a knife too if you want to use that.
Yeah, I'll grab the scissors. They're right over here.
we've been
This is
doing.
like Tulapalooza over here.
It's getting
It's
crowded.
it's a lot of tools. It's a lot of tools and a lot of people.
You have your laptop on top of a laser cut. A laser.
A laser. Yeah, it's a
is
laser. A
happening?
legit laser. It's almost done. It's got a letter and like a tenth left. It's doing the N and the G from film. Oh,
Alright.
this is done.
Cricket raced it.
Okay, so this unloads, right?
Yep.
Do I have to press
Yep.
this to
Hit,
unload?
yep. Hit the unload. Yep. There you go.
Okay. There we go. Now we're going to peel the vinyl sheet as a whole off of the sticky mat. And I'll set the sticky mat off to the side. Hang on to that for me. Okay, could one of you just kind of cut that square free so we don't waste this whole vinyl by peeling it?
Nice.
We can set this back off to the side. There we
Bingo.
go. And Jake is the vinyl peeling expert in the house. So Jake's going to peel this camel. No pressure.
Oh no, you're not gonna use one of those tools? You know, the dental tools?
He's going to do it by hand.
I believe those are
Alright.
called weeders.
Weeders.
Weeders. Let's go over here. Yeah, overhead, please, Goose.
Yeah, get it in frame there.
I'm going.
Goose is under a lot of stress today. We got 7 different cameras, 5 different
Oh,
tools.
look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. Peel right off. Do you know where that's going?
No.
Are we gonna put that on
We
Russ's?
could put it on the laser cutter
there you
or
go.
something, or put it on the
Alright.
Cricut.
Perfect.
We could peel out that eye if we wanted to. Oh yeah, here we go. Jake's going in there with the Olfa. Get a little extra detail action. There we
Bam.
go. Drawing to sticker in like 5 minutes
Yeah.
tops.
You know, I mean, this is one where everybody we've sort of talked to, if you have kids, or again, you know, for the kid in you, this is sort of one of the most fun things you can do
Yeah.
as an afternoon. It's I think incredibly satisfying to, you know, have a kid go from drawing something and to watch a physical thing come alive. I think you can see a lot of uses in education or just having fun.
Everything's covered in kid stickers now.
I know, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, this is like on the very last letter. While it's finishing up, I know we do the live Q&A obviously at the end of the show, but we did have some frequently asked questions that we wanted to cover for the recorded portion that's going to be hosted on YouTube after this show is wrapped. Let's cover those. Adi, I got a couple questions for
Yep.
you. A, is this a subscription?
It is not a subscription. You just buy the trace tool and you get access to the software, and you never have to pay a subscription to use the software.
Okay, what about a paid studio account? Do I need a paid studio account to use Trace?
No, you do not need a paid studio account to use Trace, and you do not need a paid studio account to use the SVGs coming from Trace on your Origin or any other device. Of course, we think using Trace with Studio is actually a really great combination. And you know, once you start playing with it, you'll see why. Especially when you start combining these organic shapes with more primitive shapes like circles, and start doing some pretty cool things with Shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, another question. We're very used to working with shaper tape here, and the patterns on our workstation and plate use the shaper tape pattern. I've noticed this is not shaper tape pattern, but will it work with shaper tape?
No, Trace has been designed specifically to work with this new fiducial system, and the new fiducial markers are optimized for mobile phone cameras and to work with a wide variety of mobile phone cameras. So,
I'm
short
turning off
answers, no.
turning off the dust collector here so that we can have a little peace and quiet finally. Okay, is the frame plastic or metal?
The frame is made of plastic. It's a very durable plastic.
Very durable plastic.
I guess again, I'm here to be nerdy. So it's a PC ABS polymer, which is polycarbonate and ABS. Very common polymer used for super durable. So it's durable both in terms of tensile strength, but also in drop, things like that. So again, meant to be, you know, used as a tool in your shop, throw it on your workshop bench, but also you can keep it on your desk at home. And then one of the reasons we chose for it to be plastic, you know, it's durable, but also it's light, and so you can carry it in your backpack. It's basically the size of a 15-inch computer, so it goes perfectly into laptop sleeves in your backpack.
Awesome. And last question I have for you before we go into audience questions. We've used the trace pen today.
Yes.
Is it a regular pen? Is it a special pen? Can I use other pens? What's the deal?
Yeah, so the trace pen, or really we're calling it an artist pen. We sourced this from a Japanese company. It's like a technical drawing pen. We think that's really nice. It's super fine. It's a half a millimeter tip. It's really nice to draw with, but you can use whatever pen you want, whatever paper you want. All that the app cares about is there's this enough contrast between what you're trying to trace and the background. So it doesn't matter. You can use a pencil. You can use any colored pen. Everything that is captured in black and white. So as long as there's high contrast, you'll be good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. And with that, the laser is finally done. Let's pull it out. Now, I did have to restart it because it was going to take way, way, way too long. I downed the power and upped the speed, so hence the kind of different coloring over there. We might rerun this later, but that's show business. But here we go. Filming live. Trace to laser cut sign in like no time flat.
That's a way more serious sign than the paper.
It is. Don't mess with us.
Use that.
We should use that. Okay. Everybody who's live, hang on. Everybody who's watching on demand later on YouTube, thanks for joining us. We hope this answered some of your questions and you learned some cool trace applications for when you use trace.
All right, everyone. I think
Thanks.
that's it.
More trace to come.
Yeah.
Stay
Trace to come.
tuned. We're going to
Thanks.
do more and more of these awesome demos. Check out our Instagram page where we've got a lot of really cool demos coming up as well. And make sure to check out that Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And if you're not an Origin owner, also make sure, wouldn't hurt, check out that summer deal.
Thank you, Audie, for joining us.
Yes,
today.
thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks for
We learned
absolutely
a ton.
doing all this. This is
Not
You and the team.
not just me. A huge team of people. I think we don't always get to see the team of people behind us, but a huge team of people working really hard to make all this stuff happen. So and we're really excited and really proud of the product. So excited to get it in the hands of people.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
take care.